All right, this is a 4.2 review, and I'm first going to look at these problems that have to do with function operations. So in number 1, we have f of g of 2. This is a composition of functions. This composition means that we first need to evaluate what's on the inside. The inside here is function g, so I'm going to evaluate g of 2 first. G of 2 is if I take x equal to 2 and plug it into function g, which is equal to 1. So now that I know that g of 2 is equal to 1, I'm going to take that result and plug it now into function f. So function f, evaluated when x is equal to 1, is 3 times 1 squared minus 2. Be really careful about your order of operations. This is not equal to 3 squared. You have to multiply after you square, according to our order of operations. So 1 squared is 1. 1 times 3 is 3. So this is 3 minus 2, which is equal to 1. Looking at number 3 is using functions k and h. This is telling us we need to evaluate h of 2 first. H of 2 is if you plug 2 into the x value of function h. Again, be careful with the order of operations. We don't want to multiply 4 times 2 and then square it. We need to square this first and then multiply by 4. So that's 4 times 4 minus 4 plus 6. 16 minus 4 is 12. 12 plus 6 is 18. This h of 2 is equal to 18, so now I can take that value and plug it into function k. So k of 18 is equal to 8 minus 2 times 18. This is 8 minus 36, which is equal to negative 28. And as you do these, you can cross your answers out here in the answer box. So we've used 1 and we used negative 28. Now, we're going to move on now to a couple down here where we're not evaluating the function for a specific value of x. Here we're evaluating g of h of x. What that means is we're going to take this entire function h of x and plug that into function g of x. So we're going to take g of x and substitute this x value with this entire function. So instead of x over 2, this is going to become 4x squared minus 2x plus 6, all of that divided by 2. So we substituted this whole thing in place of the x. We can simplify this because all of these terms are divisible by 2, so this becomes 2x squared minus 1x plus 3. In number 10, we're evaluating h of g of x. So that means we're going to take this entire function g of x and plug it into the x values that are in the function h of x. So anywhere where I see an x here, I'm going to plug in x over 2. So when I do that, that gives me 4, not x squared, but x over 2 squared, minus 2 times, instead of x, I'm going to put an x over 2, and then plus 6. Order of operations tells us I need to square this first and then multiply by 4, so that's 4 times x squared over 4, minus, the 2's cancel, so that's minus 1x, plus 6. Here the 4's also cancel, so my final simplified answer is x squared minus x plus 6. Okay, last one in this section that I'm going to do is number 12, f of k of x. If I plug the function k into function f, I'm going to substitute this x with this entire function k of x. Okay, doing that would give me 3 quantity, instead of x squared, I'm going to plug in this entire expression, 8 minus 2x, and then square it. And then don't forget this minus 2. Now, one thing to be careful about here is this is not equal to 64 plus 4x squared. We can't distribute this to the exponent. Instead, we actually need to multiply 8 minus 2x times itself, which is what this means. Squaring something means multiplying it by itself, and then subtract 2. Here, I'm going to wait to multiply by 3. Instead, I'm going to first multiply this out. 64 minus 16x minus 16x plus 4x squared, and then minus the 2. If I multiply all of this by 3, that's 192 minus 48x plus 12x squared minus 2. Combining like terms here, and actually I missed one here. This actually ends up being negative 16x minus 16x, which is negative 32x. So that would change this. 3 times negative 32 is actually negative 96x. All right, now combining like terms, 12x squared minus 96x, and this would be plus 190.